For those of you who want a quick refresher without going through 2 minutes of video, here it is. This video is going to go over the use of these commands in SQL. Select, you're selecting the columns. In this instance, it's the wildcard, meaning selecting all columns. From, you're selecting the table that you want the columns to be selected from. And order by orders the data by which column that you want it to be ordered by. So select columns from table, order by this particular column. In this instance, this command will spit out the login attempts table with all of the columns ordered by the login date. There you have it, a quick refresher on these very basic SQL commands in less than a minute. If you appreciate hot wings and you like quick refreshers like this, subscribe to the video or continue to watch. Here's the rest of the video. Hi there. The purpose of this video is for potential employers to see that I have the skills that I say that I have. And if you're not a potential employer, the purpose of this video for you is to learn some SQL basics. So what is SQL? After a little bit of output manipulation, this is what Grok says that SQL is. SQL is structured query language. It's a language for managing relational databases. It supports querying using the select command, manipulating using insert, update, delete, and other commands, defining structures, create or alter, and controlling access, grant and revoke. Used in databases like MySQL, PostgreSQL, and SQL Server for data analysis and management. Basically, SQL shines when you have a lot of data organized into multiple tables. It queries that data and puts out exactly what you're looking for. It can even put out data from multiple tables, cross-referencing across several tables of data. In most of my videos, we have a walkthrough of a lab for hacking, ethical hacking, or a walkthrough of using Linux. In this particular video, this walkthrough, I can't do it live because it was done in a lab environment, and that lab environment I'm not allowed to show it, but I can walk you through the lab itself. And the only way to reproduce the lab environment is to have all of the SQL information here in my Linux machine, which I don't have. So SQL basics, here are the tasks that we have to do. Number one, which member devices need to be updated? Like if you're in an organization and some of the people in the organization have devices that need an update. 2. Discover login activity, sleuthing for unusual activity, like somebody logging in outside of business hours or something, looking to see if you can find the source of a breach. Because we will be searching databases with lots of data, it's best to use SQL. Machine info, retrieve all employee device information. So you'd be in Linux, and the command would be select. The wildcard is star, so select all. Select all what? Select all data from the machines column. The select indicator is for choosing the table, columns, and the from indicator is for choosing which table to query. So select all columns from the machines table. Here are the command semantics here. You can pause this video and look over this command semantics area here until it sinks in and is more familiar to you. Here is a small excerpt of my output. Here, this is the what I believe is probably the machine labels, the machine IDs. That's one column. Then we got the operating system column. You can see there's 2 here that are on operating system 2. They probably need to be updated to operating system 3. The email client column, the date column, probably the date that they have been updated or something along those lines. And then I'm not quite sure what this number is here. It's been months since I've done this lab. Okay, discover email client. What email client does a specific machine use? Well, you can use SQL to figure out which machine uses what email client. So select. So what columns are we selecting here? We're selecting the columns device underscore ID and email underscore client. Those columns from which table? From machines. So we are looking for the email client of a specific machine. So that's why we've got the device ID, which is the machine, or the email client, and the email client from the machines table. Here are command semantics. Again, you can pause this and take a look at this if you'd like to. And here is an output. Here's our device ID column with our email client column. Email client 1, email client 1, and we see A305, B818, C708 uses email client 2, and so does this next one. All right, check patch update on machines. What machines need patch updates, right? That's a good thing to know. So the way that we would query this in this particular database would be select. So we're selecting the columns. Which columns are we selecting? Device ID, operating systems, OS patch update. So we're selecting those 3 columns from what? From the table labeled machines. Command semantics, here's this again. And this is an example of the output. Here's our device ID, here's the operating system, and here's the patch date, the latest patch date. So we see 6.1 here and 6.1 here. These 2 need to be patched because it's been, and also this one needs to be patched as well. And here are operating systems. Discover geographic login locations. Now this could be important, especially if most of your people are not remote. If you've got logins coming from weird places, then you probably know that it's an erroneous login and needs to be researched. Discovering login locations to ensure they are from expected locations. Now, you will see from the screenshots here that SQL is not case sensitive but has a case format for ease of use only. So, in order for us to discover login locations to ensure they are from expected locations in this particular environment, SQL environment, one way to query this would be select event ID. So we're selecting the columns event ID, country. So event ID and country. Those are our columns that we're looking at. From what? From the table called login attempts. And then we have another command semantic here called order. Order by country. So the order by country command semantic, this will display country and event ID columns from the login attempts table and put the results in alphabetical order based on the country column, because that is the variable that we're looking for, something out of the ordinary in the geographic location. So here's an excerpt of that output. Here's an event ID, and here's a country, and everything here is from Canada. Discover login attempt times. This is another way to make sure that the security posture of your company is sound by having cybersecurity experts who are sleuthing for things like logins outside of regular business hours. Discover the times of login attempts to ensure the attempts were made during normal business hours. Here's a good command for that. Selecting columns. Which columns are we selecting? Username, login date, login time. So we're selecting the columns username, login date, and login time from the table called login attempts. Here's our command semantics. and here is our output. Here's our username. J. Raphael, A. Patel, D. Cott, J. Raphael, A. Rutley, and E. Rab. Here are our login dates. Here are our login times. You see anything unusual here? Yeah. This one may be close to unusual, but 2027, that's it's like 8:30 p.m. It's definitely outside of business hours. It'd be worth looking into. Also, 01:45. That's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Here is one that is 2 o'clock in the morning. This is just before business is beginning, and here's 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay, order data. Provide the same information as in the previous step. So here's our previous step. So we're looking for the same information, but we want to organize it to make the information easier to read. Ordering by login date. So do we remember how to put our information, our data, in a more organized order? Yep, that's right. It's the order by command. So select all. So we're selecting all columns from the login attempts table, and we're ordering it by login date. And here's an excerpt of so here's all of our columns. All of our columns from the login attempts. This is the login attempts table. And we want it ordered by login date. So here's login date, and it's ordered by login date. So there's some SQL basics. You can see that SQL is a very powerful tool for cybersecurity experts. The SQL basics utilized in this scenario are part of everyday security hardening tasks that a cybersecurity engineer might find in their workload on any given Tuesday. After having hot wings, of course. We use the SQL function to discover employee machines, machine email servers, and login attempts information, including geographic location and date and time of attempts. Lastly, we enjoyed the order by command to make searching through the data a breeze. So a lot of this stuff many people won't do because they're too busy playing video games or browsing through Facebook or watching cat videos. And that's how major breaches happen. So don't become a statistic, my young friends. Cybersecurity does not have to be as stressful as it is. There just needs to be a few good people doing what they're supposed to be doing, what they're getting paid to be doing. So learn your SQL basics, know how to use your SQL basics, and use them for good. That's all. Have a great day, and God bless the work of your hands.